Hello and welcome to Guardians of the Geekery. You will see that it is currently a female-led cast. Matt Starnes is having a little technical difficulties, but we will soldier on. So we are so excited today to have Destiny West joining us. She is a first-time artisan at the Geekery Market, so we're very excited to have her. And so she knows nothing of what she's just signed up for other than what her friends told her. So, but for those of you listening for the first time to the podcast, Geekery Market is our highlight for this season. We are happening on Saturday, November 15th at Cabarrus Arena and Events Center. 30,000 square feet of geeky awesome, over 80 different artisans and authors and artists set to appear, along with performers and others. And we are raising funds for Second Harvest food bank, and that is all we're asking you to bring for admission is a non-perishable food item, and that could be either for humans or for pets. Destiny was sharing with us her cat, and of course I've got Angel sitting beside me, and we're not speaking too loudly in hopes that we don't wake up Carol's cats, but
Yeah.
good luck with that.
Sleep. Please let them sleep.
But Destiny, we are so glad to have you, and tell us exactly what you'll be bringing to the Geekery Market because we're so excited about it.
When I go to festivals, I'm a caricaturist, which just means I turn you into a cartoon. My style does resemble a little bit of what you might be thinking in your head as a caricaturist, but I have often been told that my style is a lot cuter and less offensive. So if you're afraid of getting a caricature, I might be your best first stop if you want to do it for the first time.
Awesome. I was going to say, have you ever had anyone get mad at you? Because I'm always worried getting a caricature because I have a face that's not symmetrical. And I'm always like, I don't want that exaggerated.
As an artist, I'll tell you that's
enough.
That's a more fun face to draw. Like, as an artist, you get really bored with all little cherub babies who all look exactly the same. I have had somebody get mad at me like twice. Once was a family who I was pretty sure what they really wanted was a portrait, like a nice realistic portrait, and they hadn't really made the connection about like what is a caricature, and it was going to be silly and cartoony. Like they seemed really upset. They were sad. And then one little girl cried. It was a different time. I don't know why she cried. She didn't say exactly what about it upset her. But those are the only 2 times I've made people upset. For the most part, everybody seems fairly pleased with what I make.
Maybe they were happy tears.
Huh?
Maybe they were happy tears.
To warm up, I drew Joey while I was sitting here.
That's cool. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
It's a little faster and looser than what I do at festival, but I thought it would be fun to sit here and warm up just a little while.
Awesome.
For those of you just listening, you'll have to go to the YouTube channel and watch and see that because it's awesome.
Yes. Or you can go to the Geekery Market page and just click on podcast and you can see it from the website too if you're not a YouTuber. So,
but that's amazing considering you were just like sitting there drawing. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I mean,
thank you.
We've only had like a couple of minutes here.
I'm very fast. So a lot of people ask me how long it takes to do a caricature. A black and white one takes me less than 4 minutes.
Wow.
4 or 5 minutes. And then a color one's the one that's going to take you the longest, between 10 and 15 minutes, depending on how many people are in the picture, because coloring and doing it well kind of takes the longest, which is why I really like it when people hire me outside of festivals, because I can take longer on them if I want. Whereas I have a lot of pressure in the moment of a festival or a convention to go as fast as possible. So I get to add little extra touches and little extra layers of color if I'm working at home, because I move at whatever pace feels good.
Yeah. No, there's definitely 2 kinds of caricatures, right? Like there's the commission work where you're actually taking your time, and then there's hey, you've got a line going out the door
Right.
and you want to keep things moving. So
Well, yeah, because I don't come with an inventory so much. So my inventory is how many can I do in an hour, basically. And so if I'm doing a bunch of black and whites, I can bust out like 10 to 15 an hour. But if it's a bunch of color ones, even though they're a little more expensive, I will say I'm trying to get them out as fast as I can because I do fewer an hour of color just because they
right,
take so much longer.
right. And how did you first get started and realize that of all the art you do, caricatures was something that you did well?
I've always had a really long love of drawing anime and cartoons, so that's obviously been a love of mine. Strong line art has always been a strength of mine. And so when I was in near the end of college, I really wanted to get into festivals and conventions, but I'm such a busy person and I fill up my schedule so much that it's hard to put together a body of work or merchandise to take out with me. That what I love about being a caricaturist is I come in and I am the inventory. And so I only need bring my supplies and then I just make whatever's necessary in the moment. And something about that I find very fun and energizing. I find it interesting and it's a great way to get to see people differently and really get to focus on them in a way that I don't think I do when I'm walking around living my life. I think we all pass each other in a blur, and this forces me to sit down and really like investigate people visually and see them in that moment.
Did you study art previously, or was this just something that you just picked up pen and paper and thought, wow, I'm pretty good at this?
I am a certified K-12 art teacher. I currently work as an elementary art teacher here in Lexington, North Carolina. I have always loved the arts, been fascinated by it, and so I'm actually a jack of all trades in the arts. I've done everything from glass blowing and pottery to printmaking, wood burning to linoleum cutting to printing on clothing to painting, watercolors, oil pastels, you name it, I've probably done it.
That's awesome. I've always been fascinated with glass blowing, but I've always been terrified to try it because
You
of the
should be. It's
heat.
terrifying.
It is. It's molten glass.
Molten glass.
Says the woman who took flame eating
That's true.
lessons.
Right, that's
I'm
true.
jealous.
It has
I
like
did eat fire, so yeah.
she's a fire eater and she's
I
telling
wanted
us
to.
she's afraid of blown glass. What?
They're both equally terrifying.
Fire eating is just spur of the moment. It's there and it's gone.
This is
Melted
true.
glass takes a while to cool down.
Hot.
So when did you start doing, when did you start doing conventions with the caricature? Did this like something that was like, I'm just going to try this. And then it just kind of like, wow, this is
Pretty
something I can
much.
actually make
I found a
some money on.
festival that was cheap enough and I already had a lot of supplies as a working, like as an art student. And so like I had a bunch of the supplies already. The biggest investments were like a tent and some kind of easel to set up, right? And so, but what I liked also about doing caricatures is it didn't take a lot of supplies to get started. It's a very accessible art form to get started with if drawing and cartoons are your niche. So if you're somebody who's like, I really want to get into this festival scene, these conventions, because I think they're so fun, but you don't have the resources to make that capital like investment in equipment or merchandise for yourself, because you got these lovely booths with prints and keychains and magnets and all these handmade goods, but the reality is like that takes a lot of upfront cost. And if you're like me and you live in poverty town, you can get really intimidated by that concept. And even now, as I'm trying to think of ways to expand my business, it's difficult sometimes because those things do require a capital investment in equipment, a nice printer, things like that, if I want to like do certain things. And so caricatures can be done with so few supplies and done well and still be appreciated, that I think that that's what drew me to it. It was something that wasn't going to bankrupt me before I got started.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Carol, I was talking to Destiny before you guys were able to join, and she actually heard about us through Karen Franks, who is the con chair of Con Carolinas, which they always help us and volunteer each year as well. So We are always excited to have people within the con that we've never circuit that we haven't met before. So we were so excited when you applied. Now I will tell you, no pressure, but we had a caricaturist line up for last year and then they never showed. So when you applied and everything, we were like, yes, okay. So it wasn't me asking somebody and them saying, yeah, I'll be there, and then never show up. It's a good
It's
thing.
actually in
So.
applications. You want to be there. You
I
actually
do want
want
to be there.
there.
I love a convention. I love a festival. I love the life of it, the camaraderie you feel when you're with other artists. I love being able to go in and just there's just something energizing about being with your people, right? Like you're with these
Yeah.
other geeks, these other nerds, these other artists. And so even as an art teacher, I spend so much of my time around a much different vibe. The homeroom teachers, I don't know if you know, but your average third grade teacher just isn't on the same level of nerdery. Right? As it's just they're not on the same wavelength. Not that I don't have friends at every grade level and get along with my coworkers, but just that you get a little lonely island. And so the opportunity to get involved with these sort of events really fills my spirit a little bit in my heart, because it's just being with the people who I'm cut from the same cloth as. So
No, I hear this 100%. My day job, I'm a recruiter for a financial institution, and most of the people I recruit are people for Wall Street. And so they're like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "I'm going to go speak at a sci-fi convention." And they're like,
You're gonna what now?
"Cool."
I'm
You
gonna
know,
play video games.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, wow, the new episode of World of Warcraft is coming out, you know. But yeah, so it's always interesting. I was talking to a coworker that I get along with very well, and she's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna go watch belly dancing." And she's like, "Oh."
That's a thing? You can do that? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
actually.
like at a pub, not like even at a Ren fair. It's just, you
Yeah.
know, my friends, I have some friends who are belly dancers and they're performing tomorrow night. And she was just like in awe. And meanwhile, they're like, yeah, we're going to Nantucket for the weekend or the Hamptons. And I'm like, have so much fun. First of all, not my price bracket at all. Second of all, belly dancing, much fun. So
See, I always get the because I'm such an introvert at work, I'm the quiet one. Um, and then they hear that I go talk at conventions, and there's like, you talk? And I'm like, yeah. Um, believe it or not, if I know the subject, I'm actually willing to, and
yeah,
I know my Doctor Who, so
yeah.
Yeah.
She talks a lot if you get her going. But yeah.
yeah,
But she knows what she's talking about. Me, I talk about
most of the
everything,
time.
but I only know, that much of what she knows. So that's why
Well,
What?
we're good besties, because
Yeah.
I get her started and then she actually fills in with the actual knowledge. So what were you going to say, Destiny?
I
We
was just
cut
saying
you off.
that's another fun thing about it, right? Like you realize the areas in which you have deeper thoughts and are more intellectual. It just isn't in the flavor that other people are used to. And so I know that as an art teacher at my school, sometimes they're like, "Can you help with math tutoring?" And I was like, "I have no idea how these fourth graders are doing their math. It's different than I did it, so I have no
Yeah.
idea how to do it." And I feel dumb and I feel like useless a little bit. But then I get around my people, I get around the art scene or the geek scene, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I know everything. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So you had a few other pieces you were going to show, although you can certainly show my picture again. I'm happy with
I
that.
can. So this one's gonna have more color. So this is the sign I often set up at conventions. It's got a
Oh,
picture of me and then a generic person with a Pikachu.
Very cool. Yeah.
So this is my typical sign I like to hang up. Some of the things I also endeavored to do with my life.
Nice.
Stickers I've
that is
designed,
awesome.
a pin I've made, a button I've made, a sticker I've designed, stuff like that. Just to make just something fun to show off my jack of all trades kind of shtick. My socials are on here somewhere.
And
And
that
then
is
your
completely
QR code.
reasonably priced. That is so reasonably priced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I often get people going, "Why don't you raise your prices?" And I'm like, "Because everyone is poor right now."
Right.
And I would rather sell 10 cheap caricatures than sit here and sell 2 expensive ones. Like,
Right. And that's exactly what I was going to say, especially, as people get to know you and the quality of your work and different things like that, it's like sometimes if they see it's too much money, even though they appreciate it, it's just cost prohibitive. And
absolutely.
they may go around. It's kind of like you'll get the nerd math I'm about to explain. It's like committing to a 2-hour movie versus watching 2 hours worth of TikToks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in the end, you still spent 2 hours on it, but you got to see maybe 20 TikToks versus one movie.
One movie.
I
And
think it's the difference between getting one large platter meal versus what if we ate at this buffet where I can sample everything.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's especially with the Geekery market. So one of the things, I don't know if Karen explained this to you, but we are a jury to vet. And part of what that means is that we literally will sit there and we'll be like, is this too similar to that? So that when you're walking down the aisles, you don't feel like, oh, saw
That's
that,
the
did
same
that,
as same
you
as
know,
the same.
oh, that was the exact same. So I love the Southern Christmas show that they have every year. I really do. But sometimes you'll go through, if you go year after year, and it's like, oh, this year everybody's doing laser wood ornaments.
Yeah.
And you'll see the exact same patterns and templates, and you'll feel like, oh, I shouldn't have bought it at the first one because the second one was $1 cheaper. Oh, here we are, $2 cheaper at the next building over, and they're all the exact same thing or similar. And so one of the things that we really strive to do is make it so that, okay, maybe we have 3 people that do crochet, but this one does clothing. This one does all the little origami, stuff. And this one does this whole different kind of style. So that way you're not buying the same things, you're not seeing the same things. And so you really can do that buffet of geekiness and feel like you spent, several hours at a show where you weren't having to try to bargain price match how you spend your funds. You just were like, which thing do I want? So, and that's one of the reasons why we love doing these podcasts too, so people can be like, okay, I know I need to put $15 aside for the caricature I'm going to get from Destiny,
Yeah.
so they pre-plan that, and that's market math and market money. If you've already put that money aside, then you know what you can spend on other things afterwards. So who was go ahead, Carol.
And I think caricatures are kind of cool because, when you go to a market and you buy stuff, it's like, it's not really specific to you. Yeah, I bought this great soap from this vendor and some really great, stationery and stuff, but that is them. That's like, this is me. Yeah, somebody drew me. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And did it so quickly.
Well, and I think
So,
coming
yes.
from geek and fandom, right? Any kind of fandom, there's also this little delight in now I'm a character.
Yeah.
Well,
and seeing
and if you
yourself
like
in
an
that
anime
way.
character now. So
if you
it's
couldn't
cool.
find your specific fandom thing that you were looking at, maybe you found My Hero Academia but not that certain character, or you found your Pokemon but not the Pikachu or the Shirzad that you were specifically looking for. You could be like, hey, can you draw me with the 10th Doctor Sonic screwdriver,
Yeah.
and really make it specific to you, which is awesome.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot, and I shouldn't do this, and I probably should just stop talking and not ask it, but I will, because it's one thing that I always appreciate, and you have enough time that if you consider it, it would be good. Do you have some kind of folder or a bag or something that they can put their caricature in? Because the thing always drives me crazy is the parents spend all this money to get their kids as a caricature, and then they're running around and it's all wrinkled up by the end of the day. So
Now I don't have a folder, so it could still get wrinkled, but I do put every single caricature in a clear sleeve. So it won't get ripped. If you spill something on it, it's fine. Or if you drop it in a puddle accidentally. And the clear sleeve seals, and so it does protect your character fairly well. And my paper is kind of a cardstock thickness, so it's not like the floppy copy paper,
Yeah.
The one that I will do when I'm there, this is copy paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still expect you to save that for the next 100 days so that I can get it when I see you.
Slip it in my notes. And so it's the clear sleeve does a really good job of helping it stay nice. And also, if you're not willing to buy a frame or you don't want to put in a frame, it looks perfectly nice hung up on your wall in this clear sleeve, in my opinion. It looks just as fine as anything else. It's shiny, it's protected, and it'll get it home pretty safe.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I've learned after being a geek for this long is you can go on Amazon and buy 6 packs of standard black frames in various sizes, so that as soon as I come home from a festival or a convention or something, I can take those pieces of artwork and slap them in a frame before something bad happens to them, or get those like art portfolios so you can slide them in, so that way they can stay when you run out of wall space, which I'm quickly starting to do. So
right, but I would also say that's another advantage of commissioning me ahead of time, because while I have a standard size I work in, 9x12 usually, like that's what I'll offer at the convention. Everything I hand out is a 9x12. If you are commissioning me, I will work at whatever size you want. You could tell me, I got a frame sitting in my closet. I've been trying to find something to put in for years. Can you make this an 8.5 by 12.5, like whatever weird size you need, you tell me ahead of time and I will make the paper fit before I draw.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
So I'm more than happy to work with those sort of specifications, because I know that I am a repurposer. I'm not going out buying brand new anything if I don't have to. And so if I find a cool frame, I'm absolutely tracing that frame on paper before I start working. And then I'll make art for it, instead of trying to find a frame that fits my art.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So who was the very first person you drew as a caricature?
The very first thing I did when I thought I was going to get into caricatures is I looked up celebrity caricatures and began mimicking them and copying them, and like trying to draw what I saw and tried to understand what they were seeing when they looked at it. Because we all know these different actors, different celebrities. It's a lot easier to recognize, did I make this feel like that person? Does this feel like that actor? Does this feel like that celebrity? And so that's actually the first thing I did, was just practice a whole bunch with celebrities and trying to make them feel like that celebrity.
That's incredibly smart.
Yeah.
That's very smart. Yeah.
I think for me, like a couple times I've had caricatures, and if it was a man, they always will accentuate my double chin. And if it's a woman, they realize, let's focus on something else about Joey's face besides her double chin. Thank you very much.
Yeah, everyone has a different style, and I think that's why it's important to maybe look at their work before you sit down for the caricature. And that's why I have a couple examples out whenever I am working, so that you can decide, does this feel like something I want to be?
Yeah.
If you saw his work and he's accentuating everybody's like mole 10 times, or like their eyebrows are 4 times larger than they should be, like because like I have a little bit of a monobrow myself, and so I don't necessarily want a big old monobrow across my caricature, because that's not a feature of me that I think about very often. But now, by golly, am I feeling
that you want to highlight, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to highlight my monobrow. And so I think taking the time to assess someone's artwork beforehand is important.
Yeah, no, I am very excited. So I think this will be great. Now, if people wanted to go and look at your work beforehand, where can they find you online? Other than going to our website.
The easiest thing is Linktree.
Yep.
/Deswesmaus. DESWESMAUS.
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 And we'll have that link in our website on the podcast as well. So if you go to the show notes. So
mine and my husband's last name together is Westmoss. And so that's where that comes from. And then I'm Destiny. So Deswesmaus.
I thought you had an affection for Modest Mouse or something like that, and that's where it came from.
Family name. It's a family name, and it's German for mouse, obviously. But yeah, it's a family name.
Wait a minute.
So I just incorporated it into my branding, and then it sounded cool when I was done. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if people wanted to do like a commission and do a pre-order with you, is that something that they could do?
100%. You can either email me directly, or I actually have listings on Etsy to make it really easy for people who maybe want something more official to go through. I know it can be nervous ordering something from someone online you've never met, especially when it's custom art. So I do have that Etsy listing available to just make that a smoother, more like official feeling covered transaction.
Awesome.
Sounds
Well,
great.
Destiny, it has been so much fun getting to know
Yes.
you. We are so excited to have you join the Geekery Market family. So make sure to come and see her on November 15th. We will be there at Cabarrus Arena Event Center. We will be in Event Center B. Well, there will be what is it, 16, 18-foot inflatable dragon in front. So
Yeah,
you'll know which of
you
the
won't
3
be
buildings
able
to
to
go
miss
to.
us.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and there'll be a big banner on the front of the building that says Geekery Market. So if the hot tub people are there, you can go check out the hot tubs. Just come back afterwards, come see Destiny, get a picture. Maybe, pay her to pretend to put you in a hot tub if you can't afford one that day. So
There you go.
there you go. You could just put it all together. But we cannot wait to see you and have you there. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us
Yes.
a little bit
I
today.
really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having me.
no problem. See y'all later.
Bye.